1, 2, 1, 2. My setup says it's not that mic, but I'm really sure it's the cam mic. Okay. Hi. How you doing, everybody? Or anybody? I didn't do all my promotions because I'm in a little bit of a hurry. My husband has band practice at 6. He's on a work call right now. If you hear somebody talking in the background, hopefully my talking doesn't disturb him. But we're having Schnitzel for dinner. I'm going to turn this pan on now. I've got my cast iron going for frying. I prefer to use that. If you don't know why, I don't know what to tell you. No. Turn it up. Medium high should be good. Get that heating up. No, if you're frying, cast iron is freaking amazing because it retains heat. When you fry something up and it's greasy, it's usually because your oil temp was too low, and that kind of sucks it up rather than immediately bubbling and pushing out and crisping just the outside of stuff. So I'm using cast iron to do this frying. So today I'm going to make schnitzel starting with a pork loin chops that my son kindly pounded out to get ready to do this for me. I got a pork loin. They were on sale for like $1.99 a pound. These are pounded out to about a 1/4 inch. Our first step in this is going to be seasoning this flour. I'm going to get that done and try to get them in the flour before the ads start in a couple of minutes. So some pepper. Ooh, pepper. I'm going to use my smoked salt, but any salt is fine. This is going to be the primary stage of seasoning. I will put a little salt in the eggs, but this is going to be a standard breading, and this is why I thought I should do this on stream. Whenever you're making, chicken fingers or chicken fried steak, whatever, there's this flour, egg, breadcrumb situation, and garlic powder, and paprika, and that's going to be it for the seasoning for this. But the thing people forget or don't realize, and their breading falls off, is after you get the flour on your meat, it needs a little time to kind of hydrate so it sticks to the meat, and then it becomes the glue for when you put the eggs and breadcrumb on the outside, so that it doesn't just all fall off when you're done. So I mix the seasonings in. I can smell the garlic, so it's enough and it's not overwhelming. So I'm gonna, I know you're used to seeing schnitzels like gigantic. I'm using a leaner cut than a lot of times will be done in a restaurant. But I mean, it's fried, and it's not fried for very long, so it's not like gonna get dried out. Nice thin pork cutlets. You can of course do this with veal, Wiener Schnitzel or Wiener Schnitzel. That's generally the traditional. They use veal. But we have a German restaurant locally, a Bavarian restaurant, that uses pork, and it's fantastic. So these are just, like I said, sliced off of a pork loin, a half loin we bought, and pounded out to nice and thin. I did have to take like the fat cap off because there's a kind of a tendon that holds it there, and it keeps it from wanting to pound out evenly. Okay, ad starting in 4, 3, 2. We'll be back. This one doesn't want to hold anything. It's okay. If it's going to be that dry, the egg's going to stick. And before we come back, I'm going to assume my countdown disappeared. Come on, Twitch, do better. That I can wash my hands. I suppose what I should do is load up my stream and look at it, right? This pan smells hot. I'm going to put some oil in there. Okay, ad breaks ends in 54 seconds. I guess I'll describe it after the ad's done, but for anybody who's still here because you're watching the VOD, I only put, I'm going to put a little more, maybe like a half an inch of oil. Now, inch is a weird measurement for oil, but that's what it is when you're pan frying. Because it's gonna, the amount's not gonna be consistent. Now, the other thing I'm gonna make is German potato salad. Did I mention that? Yep. Hey, my community is back, so it says. I'm just cracking a couple eggs into this bowl. I think 2 should be enough for these 6 if they're small. And tell me that's not shell. Well, pro tip. Eggshell attracts eggshell. If you get a little piece in there, best way to get it out and it'll cut the white nicely is use a shell. Ta-da! Okay, normally when breading stuff, I won't season the breadcrumbs with the schnitzel. I'm gonna put a little salt in this, not a lot, because can you hear him? There's enough flavor going on, and we want the pork to stand alone. We are gonna serve it with lemon, as is traditional with the schnitzel. But the flour is the closest to meat, and so that's going to be the primary seasoned bit. And did I forget to bring a whisk? I sure did. Fork is closer. So yeah, just whip up your egg. I'm going to use panko breadcrumbs. And these have been sitting all through the ad break, so it really just needs a couple minutes so that not any is shaking off. It's adhered pretty well, and that'll help glue everything together. So let's get the lemon out of the way, and plain panko breadcrumbs. A lot of times if I'm making chicken fingers or something, I'll squinch them a little more with the panko because they're big, but I really want the coarse texture on the outside of the schnitzel can really help. Testing my oil. I don't have a chopstick handy. It's okay, this has a wooden handle. Not hot enough. A chopstick is a good test for if your oil's hot enough, and it is important for your oil to be hot enough. If you put a chopstick in, it'll bubble around it, and a wooden handle, like on the end of something like this, will also work. Turn it up a little, because it's taking its time. Okay, let's go back down here. Our pork chop. This is wet hand, dry hand, right? The wet, and then the dry, I'll put some of these breadcrumbs on top. I'm just tapping it gently. With some things you can really push down in there, and it really helps keep it solid and well breaded. But with the schnitzel, it's kind of a lighter coating you want going on. I'm going to just do 2 of these right now because I don't want to put more than that in the pan. Normally with the schnitzel, you've got nice big pieces of pork, pounded out super thin, and I'd go ahead and look what I did. See what happens? You put your wet in the dry stuff. Don't do that. Don't be like me. And I would only do 1 at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and do 2 at a time. And that'll get Rob out the door for practice. Then I'll probably do Fletcher's next. I've got a rack. Can you see the rack? On top of a cookie sheet for draining afterward. You could use paper towels or something. I don't use a lot of paper towels in the kitchen. My primary paper towel use is crafting reasons when there's just no other way. All right, so these are beautiful. You can see one in the camera, right? Yep. Another way to tell your oil's getting there is you may have seen it referred to in recipes as until it shimmers, because it starts to kind of move on its own. It's easier to tell with a smaller amount of oil. And of course, there's the water test. Okay, I might have to turn this up higher because the thermostat just kicked that off. See, that's barely sizzling. I definitely want this a little higher, so I'm going to turn this all the way up to its maximum. Almost there, though. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to make to have on the side is going to be a German potato salad. I was thinking about a side. I was going to have a salad, but our lettuce was sad. And I'm probably add a little color. I've got these beautiful pickled beets that I made with a friend a couple in July, which will be great with this, and it's another kind of German traditional thing. And I was like, wait, I can make German potato salad. That's another use for these canned potatoes that I got from the food pantry, and I think it's one of the last things I have left from when we were having to go to the food pantry. Aldi has a brand of these that people have been ranting and raving and making stuff with. I would not use it for regular potato salad like some people are. I mean, to each your own, but my potato salad, my mayonnaise-based one in particular, can you see? That's bubbling up much nicer. I just put a breadcrumb in there. I don't want to mess up my oil too badly. Yeah, the fork. Let me see if I can do the wood test to show y'all. See the bubbling? You can use a chopstick for that, and that's kind of a way to know your oil's at temp. But for a German potato salad, my mayo-based potato salad, I marinate. Okay, put this in the pan away from yourself so you don't splash yourself with oil. I marinate my potatoes when they're still warm. And they soak up all this marinade flavor. And then I just like throw the rest together, the celery and radishes and a little mayo the next day, or after it's had time. And my potato salad is amazing and exceptional without having to do something like just put a bunch of mustard in it like people do, because the flavor's in the potatoes. And if I use these canned potatoes for that, it wouldn't work, because they're already saturated. They've been canned in a liquid. That's a beautiful sound. I'm curious who would be interested. This is the pan I'm going to use. I told you how bad my non-sticks were. Yeah, I ruined them. But that's what I'm going to use for the German potato salad. I want to know how many people would be interested in me doing crafts on stream too. I've got some things started. I had a crafting day with some of my friends this weekend, and I did some glass etching. So I have more stencils cut out, and I have more etching ready to go. And it strikes me as something I could finish here and talk about. So let me know. Pop in the Discord. Exclamation point Discord to find that. I don't know why my bot is, I don't know if it's not logged in. This is just going to take 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Let me try that. You hear that release of water? That's a good indication. And we can see the brown coming up the sides. Probably good to flip. Gorgeous. And because they're so thin, they cook up quick and nice. I will probably throw a little salt on them after they're on the draining rack, after they're all cooked up. Kind of always want to do that with something that's breaded, and it's another reason to put a whole lot less in your other steps. I tend to undersalt everything, because people can always add salt at the end. You cannot take it away. You will ruin it. Ooh, I got splashed. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I do need it cooked through. Beautifully golden. I don't like that little bit of over browning. I'm going to rotate them, because the burner's smaller than the pan. The cast iron can only do so much for you. So have them even. Gorgeous. Okay. Now in the minute or so that needs, I can bread a couple more. Oop. Alright. See how the flour makes the egg stick. And then the egg lets the breadcrumb stick. And because we let it sit during the ad break, it's going to be just fine and not just fall off when you take it out of the fryer. You could do this in the oven, I do it probably at about 425. I would spray after breading with a spray oil, and then flip it and spray it again after about 10 minutes. I'm gonna say these are done. When you push on meat and it doesn't have really any give, I have chef hands, that's good to go. Smells good in here. Okay, I'm just gently tapping, shaking the extra breadcrumbs off before putting this in the fryer, well, in the pan, away from me. That one's a little big. A little concerned about crowding. I'm going to do those one at a time. It's a little bigger than the other one was. Let's move this to the middle. It immediately started frying a little less hard. We've got some evening out to do. What's here? Okay, German potato salad. So I'm going to use, we're back to that red onion I've had in the fridge. That I used some of in the soup. Soup we made a few days ago. I love using up leftovers. I don't remember what this lemon was for. But it was all from the fridge, which it works out perfect because that's what you generally serve with a schnitzel is lemon slices. I know it might sound odd, but you squeeze a little fresh lemon over the schnitzel and it really does something special, like brightens it up. My husband skips that part entirely, but my son and I both go with the lemon. I'm gonna dredge another of these while that fries. If you want to watch it fry or watch me dredge, can't do both. I only have so many cans. Boop. Tap, 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 tap. I feel like Happy Gilmore. Tap, tap, tapping my pork cutlets. Yes, cutlet. If you've heard the term cutlet, that's all that is a little cut of whatever meat. Chicken cutlets, pork cutlets, beef cutlets. I don't think you ever see beef cutlets used as a term. I don't know why. I could ask Billy. My sister's partner is a butcher. Because veal is cow. And we definitely use the term veal cutlets. I think it only refers to petite. Small. Uh-oh. I got a space where I did not properly dredge. It's okay, not the end of the world. I can add a little egg because I can see the flour exposed. And zhuzh it around in the breadcrumbs. Cool. All my cutlets are ready to fry. I can get some of this crap out of the way. And it's about time to flip this. Beautiful brown. I'm gonna get this out of my way, pull the flour and the egg, and then I'm going to show you how well stuck that breading is. I'm back. Didn't take long. See, This hill has a little give, not quite done yet. You don't have to cook pork like crazy like they used to believe when I was a kid, because the worms they were worried you get don't exist anymore. They've been eliminated. But look, it's not clumping away and falling off. If you let that flour rest, you too can have chicken fingers, steak fingers, breaded pork chops, whatever, without your breading separating. It took me too long to find out why it was behaving that way. Okay, that just got a little louder. That's a good way to know when it's getting closer to done. It does it every time. It gets to a point where all of a sudden a little more juice releases, and water, when it hits oil, makes that noise. So yeah, this is firmed up. So that's about done. I'm gonna look, let me see. See? I'm gonna give it a little more time for that center, because when it releases that water, the center cooks last, and that breading will take that tiny bit longer to crisp up. And then I will have 3 more to go, but in the meantime, I should text my husband and tell him his dinner's ready. He's only going to eat the meat, because he's like that. Maybe I could talk him into, if the salad isn't too far gone, he will eat a salad. Your schnitzel is prepared, my lord. So it's 5:06. That works out great. In case you want to eat and then get to brand practice. Let's take a look. Pardon my messes around my house. There we go. Drip, drip, drip. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Next. Okay. Disobeyed my own rules and laid it toward myself. This one, I'm going to get 2 at a time in here. It's bubbling up real good. I do have this almost to the maximum, so I'm going to, I said medium-high before. On this electric burner, it's like whatever a 5 means. Thank you, milady. I'll be in forthwith. Love my nerdy family. I have plates out here.
Oh, I didn't know.
And if you want more than one, you're going to have to wait a second.
Okay.
But if you want to grab a plate, hand me a plate, please.
Yep.
This is my son Fletcher. He loves schnitzel too. Let's get Dad's plated up.
Want me to bring him his?
No, he'll come in and get it in a minute. I just want to show, whoops, the people's.
Can I put my plate here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll have a prettier plate later, because. Oh, don't do that!
I don't know how I'm supposed to do it.
Don't.
According to you.
Let me cut the lemon so that
Okay,
I can
I
have
didn't
some.
know. Fair enough. I just thought you squeezed it directly on.
Well, yeah, but we each get some, so
Fair.
I'll give you some, and I'll have some to do plating after. Taking all my lemons.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna squeeze on and
Yeah.
walk away.
That's fine.
Should I take that plate? Oh, fantastic.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
love.
And I'll put this one.
Hello,
here,
Internet.
'cause
Is it not expired yet? Cool. So, wedging some lemons. After this, there will only be one cutlet, so I can move things around and start getting this tater salad ready to go. I'm going to rotate my pork. So it browns evenly. See, I don't quite see a lot of brown coming around the edge yet. Not quite ready to flip, almost there. Okay. This onion's getting pretty sad. Oh, you hear the pop pop? Got a little louder? I'm gonna say it's probably time to flip. I can see brown coming up around the edge. And there we go. Beautifully golden brown. Keep separation so it cooks all the way around. Now, I don't need a shit ton of onion, but it is a primary component of the dressing. But it's just a little can of taters because this is going to be something only I'm going to eat. Doesn't really matter what size pieces, but fairly even so they cook evenly. It's going to be a super quick cook in bacon fat. I'm going to be using my homemade bacon again today to get a start.
Fried it in?
Huh?
Fried it in?
No, sweetie. I'm making German potato salad.
Oh.
Which, that you render bacon and then you make the dressing with the bacon drippings. Oh, that's a good smell. I hear it getting just a little louder. Hey, my bot worked from the OBS chat, which it was not doing for me before. Cool. That means I should set off some other bots, because the bot is still not using my timer. I should put my Amazon... Oh, anybody who's watching or comes to my Twitch channel, this will also be on YouTube as a VOD, but on my Twitch channel below, there's my Amazon Associates link if you want to buy anything from Amazon. There's my wish list to buy things that just help me with this stream. And with that, I'm going to continue to prep and get ready to do this tater salad. A few more minutes on that, and I think I'm going to flip it and give it a little more after that. So. Okay, bacon, onion. Generally, German potato salad, you're doing slices. This is if you were watching when I made that soup the other day, had I realized those canned potatoes were in slices, I definitely would have done something like this with them instead of putting them in a stew. Again, just pseudo-uniform size, about a ½ inch. Doing a lot of ½ inch stuff today, right? ½ inch oil. Pork, you probably went down to a ½ inch, so yeah. I'll continue cutting the potatoes, and you can see and hear the end of the pork happening. Be really careful cutting these canned potatoes. They're already cooked, so they're super slippery and easy to cut. Matter of fact, I might take a tip from Jock and Julia, make me crazy using teeny tiny knives for stuff, but I guess I do have a little more control with something slippery. Tuck your fingers in, so even if you hit a knuckle, you're not cutting yourself. Alright. Oh, it's gonna be delicious. I haven't had German potato salad in like forever. My grandmother used to make it when I was growing up. All the time. How are we doing here? Little give in the middle still. I'm gonna give it another minute. Just about a minute. And I'm gonna use the same burner to make the potato salad. So, what do you need for this? Bacon, onion, potatoes, vinegar, sugar. I'm gonna go get the sugar. I thought I brought it over. I did not. I was supposed to. It was there with the parsley right on top of it. I'd prefer parsley for this, but parsley, we've only successfully grown it real well once. Doesn't like to stick around. It's too hot in North Carolina. So, yep, that's cooked. Beautifully brown on both sides. Breading's not going anywhere. That one needs a second more. Like I said, it flares up like that. It's letting you know. I got some cooking to do. How is it?
Delicious, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that one's done. Alright, I should have maybe gotten more of those pork loins.
That was super tasty. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, oh, I'm shutting this off too soon. I got one more cutlet. Durr. Don't take it away. I almost forgot one. So did you know that Schnitzel was just a breaded pork chop? Did you learn something today? We've got an ad starting in 10 seconds, so I should be able to cook this up. Well, maybe take a little longer than the ad, but I'll see you soon.
I'm gonna.
Okay, did you just take one?
Yeah,
Four?
there
Yeah,
was
okay.
only
Yeah,
one
because I
for-
did two for each of us. I still have some cooking. Cool. I didn't salt that. Did you want salt? Or is it
Yeah,
good
I'd like
enough?
some.
Okay. Do, 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 do. Oh, okay. Okay. The smoked gives a nice zhuzh. So I was using it for this. Smoky without being super smoky. My burner is not happy with me. Are we excited to make German potato salad, everybody? Have you ever had it? You can use a pretty much identical method to make spinach salad. When I do a spinach salad, it's not, I guess, identical, but I do rendering some bacon, and then I cook up some onions in it, and then kind of deglaze with a balsamic vinegar. And if you want, you can saute mushrooms when you saute the onions in it, and you deglaze with the balsamic, and it makes like a sweet and sour bacony dressing that you pour over baby spinach, and it wilts it a little. So good. So good. Open this. Hopefully the ad break is still going. I'm only talking to the VOD viewers. Check this. Beautiful. Go ahead and take this moment to open my beets. Time to prep those for plating in a bit. Look at the cut, because we did all different cuts. I miss having my unpicky children home. I mean, I'm glad they grew up and moved away, because that's how you succeed as a parent. Oh, getting loud. Almost done. Showing my beets. Me and my friend Lori spent 8 hours pickling and preserving and roasting beets, and it's pretty great. They're good enough that people have been eating them up, which is good. But I'm the one in the house that lives here that will eat them. Yep, that's done. Yeah. Just let me go a little. Oh, not quite done. See, that goes too easy. God, I check. No premature removing. So I'm going to do something right after this so that I can get the other pan on the burner that I don't recommend doing, which is moving a pan that still has hot oil in it that you've been frying in. But I have trivets right next to this burner, so it's not going to be overly dangerous for me to do. The ad's still going. I don't know why Twitch doesn't. Does my live dashboard tell me? It doesn't look like there's ads, so it just didn't tell me when they ended. Sorry about that, folks. Unless it doesn't show me on my mobile thing. Crazy. So new, sorry. Only been doing this for like, I don't know, how many years? 10, 11, 12. Yep. The gib is gone. Nice and brown. Yep. Sorry. I give somebody vertigo with my cam situation here. And a little of my smoked salt on, because that's going to be mine. I know I'm going to want a little bit. Okay, now here, not recommended. Don't try this at home, folks. If you do, definitely put it on a trivet. Okay. So let's start the German potato salad. I'm going to turn this down significantly, down like a medium low, because this bacon I'm going to be you kind of want to not scorch it. You want to slowly render that. This is, if you watch my bacon reveal stream, I cut this all up saying that mostly what we use it for is carbonara. That is true. Someday I'll do a carbonara stream. But it occurred to me that germ potato salad is another way I can use this. I don't need a whole lot. I just am doing this little bit of potatoes, and it's basically creating the dressing. The meat is not the point of the dish. It's it's a primary flavor of germ potato salad, but this is a side dish. It's not about the bacon. I mean, I know it's always about the bacon. But. So we're going to render that. I want to find some thinner, fattier pieces because the fat is the point in this. It's the oil in our dressing. The leaner bits don't do as much good. So what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? I'll figure something out. I'll probably put it on a salad. Like I said, I found out earlier that our lettuce is kind of sad. But I want to get more. And I've got blue cheese crumbles. And I have some cherry tomatoes and stuff. So I can basically make a pseudo wedge or a black and blue salad. Be back in a second. Tuck that up in the fridge. Although I've got some sun-dried tomatoes too I want to use. I recommend buying lids that fit on mason jars. I got some cheaper online than you can get them in the store, but I mean you can even buy an off-brand of them in Walmart, and it's really great for once you open your sealed jars, they're no longer shelf stable, and you got to keep them in the fridge even with pickled items. So it's really nice to have those lids handy. It also helps preserve your rings. When you take these lids off, don't reuse them. This rubbery glue is no longer reliable enough to seal your jars safely. These are one use and trash, but you can reuse the rings that hold them on. I don't have any rings handy because I took those beats off a shelf. But if you keep putting them in the fridge, and that's something I did for years and years, was taking that type of lid and putting the ring back on and putting it in the fridge for those items. But the humidity in the fridge, you end up with rusty rings, and then those can't be reused. But if as soon as you're done canning, you take off those rings and dry them, you can reuse them. Itchy nose. I should do I partially plate my dinner to show everyone, or wait until the...
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is it good?
Yep.
Good. I guess I'll wait until my potato salad's done. Sizzling away. Like I said, it's kind of a slow render. You can add a little olive oil if you want. It doesn't hurt anything. I don't want that to be too slow, though. It's fine. Smells good in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat a piece of pickled beet. I'm hungry. So it's funny, I guess because I grew up with this stuff. I didn't grow up making schnitzel. Schnitzel is something that after going to this Bavarian restaurant in town, I was like, oh, hell, that's all that is? My grandmother didn't used to make it. She made stuff like liver ball soup, though, and we had a lot of sauerkraut and Polish sausage and things growing up. I have a recipe, and I've failed at the liver ball soup, which is a little bit of a shame, because I love this stuff. But yeah, like I said, she made German potato salad. That's how I learned how. I have her recipe in my family cookbook. Get all the flavor out. Now, if you're using store-bought bacon, it's going to render out way easier than this. I'm not exactly sure of the science on that. Probably just because it's way, way, way fattier. You find that when you're shopping for bacon in the store, you're like looking for one that it looks like it's not all fat, at least got some meat. It's another great thing. Besides, it ends up being cheaper. I think even with the ingredients, it averages out to maybe the same price, because I can get pork bellies for $5.99 a pound, and then it's like sugar and salt and a little bit of Paroc powder, and thyme. And then the smoking chips are super cheap. So, store-bought bacon is regularly $7.99, even $8.99 a pound. So, cheaper too, the same, just more labor to get way better quality. You can control by looking at your pork belly how meaty versus fatty your bacon's going to be. Okay, it's starting to sizzle up. I'm going to gather it together in a pile. This can help when you're rendering, because it gives it some of its own fat to fry in. Am I too much in the way here? There we go. My left hand is not the most useful thing. Okay. While that continues to render, I should grab some little cauldrons. We're going to end up using, let's do this. Haha. Sideways can. I have a gallon of vinegar is the only white vinegar I have. So I want to go ahead and that's going to be way more than I'm going to use, but it'll be easier to control the pour. Probably only need about a quarter of a cup of vinegar. And again, you can boil it off when you're making the dressing. And about probably a tablespoon and a half of sugar, but again, I'm not going to be measuring, and this is going to be to taste. I should have brought a slotted spoon to get this bacon out. You see the fatty drippings. That's what's going to make our dressing. German potato salad is traditionally served warm. They actually had it as a side last time I went for German food at the Bavarian place in town here. It's in Troutman, North Carolina, actually, neighboring town. And they make really great sauerbraten. Sauerbraten is another dish I grew up with my grandmother making, but I never mastered. and they do it. When they do it, they only do it sometimes, but every time, if they have it when I'm there, that's what I end up getting. Otherwise, I usually get the Schnitzel. They have all these different names for them. The Hunter Schnitzel has this thick mushroom gravy on it. It's usually the one I get. I love it. I'll probably use a fork to get this out. This pan's already screwed. Who am I kidding? Alright. We're going to do that a little bit more. It's just want to be careful you don't want to scorch your bacon. It's all about the dressing. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, what else do I have? Vinegar, sugar. Now I'll use this other cauldron to put this bacon in while I finish the dressing. I hear my husband upstairs. What time is it? He's got to get his butt to practice. He's a musician. Programmer by day, musician by night. Alright. So I'll pull out this bacon for now because you don't want it to get rubbery by cooking in the dressing too long. Beautiful drippings.
Alright, ladies.
Some onion.
I'm off to Bandama practice.
Alright. Have a good time.
Have a good stream. Mwah.
Did you say it was whole band?
Yes.
Yeah. I like onion. I'm going to put all this onion I cut up in here. So, I get this translucent softening. I know it's a little harder to tell with red onion. You don't have to use red onion. I would use green onion for this. I would use either yellow or Vidalia or red if you can handle that it might be a little spicier with the red. You can see it's getting toward translucent, and then I'll add vinegar and sugar and taste it. And it's about where I want it. We'll put in the potatoes and the parsley. Some recipes you put fresh parsley in. I'm using dried, so I do want it to give it a chance to hydrate in the dressing a little. Yes, parsley does have a little bit of flavor. Although I have seen recipes where, and my grandmother used dried parsley often, but it wasn't just a garnish. Dried parsley just on top isn't the best idea because it's not going to hydrate, it's not going to lend anything, and the texture might be weird unless you let it sit a while. Like I was starting to say, and squirreled away earlier, traditionally it's served hot, but that restaurant did have it, Bavarian Kitchen it's called, in Trout, North Carolina. I highly recommend it. It was cold. Their German potato salad, they gave it to me cold. And it was fine, but it was a little weird to me. And I don't think theirs had bacon. So maybe the Bavarians do it a little different. Okay. I think the onions are soft. I'm going to say you can like push on one with your wooden spoon gently and it pops apart. That's tender enough. Which with a red onion you might need to. I'm going to dump vinegar in. Keep your face away. I'm going to put all that in. It's fine. All that delicious bacon situation. Some sugar. It's probably about a tablespoon. And I'll give this a taste and see how much I want to reduce it. or if I want more vinegar. I definitely want to bring it back up to a simmer. See how much there is? I mean, not a whole lot, but this is a tiny bit of potatoes. Really should do something like have tasting spoons around. Try this. Yeah, I'm not changing anything about that other than a little salt and pepper. I'm gonna skip the pepper. It doesn't really need it. But you could add some pepper. I want to bring this to a nice bubbling simmer, and then I'll put the potatoes in. Well, there's still dressing in there for them to soak up. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh, wait, what'd I forget? What'd I say? Put some parsley in it. Also has liquid to hydrate it a little. Just like, I mean, for this amount, like a 1/4 teaspoon is gonna be good. I do wish I had some fresh parsley for this. That's gonna make it so much prettier. Give it a little contrast. It's bubbling. I don't know if you can see it bubbling. Alright, let's get these potatoes in. You want to toss them so the dressing gets all over both sides of these potatoes. And we are going to let it cook in the dressing a little so the potatoes can soak up some of that flavor. They might give off a little starch, which might thicken it a little bit, which is perfect because then it'll coat really well. And I'm gonna let that cook. I get rid of some stuff so we can get ready for plating, and I can have my dinner. Smells good, right? Okay. Tossing the potatoes in. The red onion also gives us a nice visual aesthetic. I never really thought hard about what kind of onion I was using in my German potato salad before today. Schnitzel. You like my plates? I like my plates. All right. How we doing? How's it look? Looks beautiful. So it's evaporating, it's concentrating, it's soaking in the potatoes. It smells amazing. Potatoes are getting a little color to them, so they don't just look like screamingly bright white. a combination of the red onion and the bacon drippings, and I guess a little browning of the sugar. Put the bacon back in. Hell yeah. I'll turn that off. And if I had some fresh parsley, this is where I would sprinkle it on the top or even on the plate at that point. I'm going to some plating over here. Okay. Note to self, you're not used to electric. It didn't go off. Take it to a burner that's not warm. Okay, so I've got my schnitzel, some of these beautifully pickled beets, which is, again, just a nice German thing, and a lot tidier and more colorful than sauerkraut, because you can only handle so much yellow on a plate, right? With anything fried and greasy, that's why this lemon works so amazingly well to have on a schnitzel. And the German potato salad is sweet and salty and a little bit tart. Oh, I'm gonna have leftovers. I want to say I can only eat so much of this, but I'm thinking that's a lie, and it's gonna disappear before the night is through. We'll see if I can behave. Like I said, like when it occurred to me, I could make that, and I haven't had it in so long. You know how something tastes so much better, like because you had been craving it? This is gonna hit the spot. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna taste the schnitzel first. Oh wait, we've been in an ad break and I didn't know. I don't know where Fletcher put the lemon. Oh, here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just putting some stuff away. Here I come. Hi. So I didn't notice the ad break. Pro. And did the plating while you were gone. But this is our beautiful German potato salad that I don't know when ad went, but we put the bacon back in. I guess if you're watching the VOD, it won't matter. You'll be able to see all that. Or if you subscribe, we won't run into this VOD garbage. Or into this ad stuff. Interrupting my cooking. Not what I want to pay attention to. So, here I am. Plated up my pickled beets, my schnitzel, and my German potato salad. I had a whole German meal just from, hey, there was pork loin on sale. And what the heck, I could pull out the beets we canned over the summer and save that piece of lemon in case I have my other piece of schnitzel. Yeah, the acidic lemon on this fried pork is amazing. The beets are going to be another acidic element that complements this really well. And of course, the German potato salad, man, it's sweet and tart, so. That's really good. Really good. Really hearty. Really satisfying. As I'd say, like the breading. Well, now it's going to come off because it sat a while. Perfectly cooked pork. When you pound it so thin, like a quarter inch, like about what we went to, it tenderizes it as well, of course. Try the lemon on it, even if you don't think you're gonna like it. Even just try it on a piece, then you'll have tried something new. Okay, so that's it. How do we do? 1 hour, 11 minutes with a couple ad breaks. How exciting. The only thing done before the stream was my son pounded the pork. So that's like 5 minutes. And I put the flour in a bowl. I didn't even season it ahead of time. So this was start to finish, German potato salad and pork schnitzel in an hour. What a great meal. And German potato salad you can absolutely make ahead and warm up. It warms up nicely, or you can eat it cold. The schnitzel you can make ahead and put it in the oven as you cook it to keep it warm on a nice low oven, like 200, just keeping warm so it doesn't dry out for your fam. Not bad, huh? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you have any ideas, again, come into my Discord, let me know. If you want to help me keep streaming, please subscribe, follow, share it with your friends. Go to my Throne or Amazon wish lists. I can be found as September or 9 of 12 everywhere to help me keep doing this. And I look forward to cooking with you soon. Stop the stream. But I have to eat more. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. I couldn't quite end because I hadn't tasted this German potato salad. Yeah, I might start buying canned potatoes so that I can make this so quickly. Gracious. Thanks, Grandma Rose.